T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, look, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, park catalyst. I think we got a hit. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Yeah. Look, we got Prince, Blue and Steppe talking black and blue lives. Yeah. The black and blue lives. Yeah. It's Steppe and Blue.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is up? It is the Black and Blue Lives podcast. I am your host, Dr. Prince Blue. This is the homie, Sergeant Steppe. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving as we embark on December 1st, which means it's Christmas time, it's Thanksgiving time. So I wanted to talk about the mental aspect of the holidays and just overall, the decline, the psychological effect of officers, the psychology of it all. Because, Steppe, you and I know around this time, this is when you get the most suicides, the most depressing calls, and all that stuff. Because around the holidays, people don't have family, people lose family, people remember family. And these are a part of the things that happen. So what I want to discuss is everything about that goes along with the fatigues that hit us over the course of our careers. But before we get into that, first of all, Stat, how was your Thanksgiving, homie?
Yeah, it was good, chill. I got to see Junior a little bit, hang out with him.
Same. You and I both have college kids,
Yeah.
and they both came home. So
I know it's hard to believe we look so young,
I know, and that's one of the things too. Step, think about it. Our babies. Mine is 18. Yours is 20, right?
21.
21. And
Yeah.
think about it. Think of how many of these we missed because we were working, and now we get to actually be home and enjoy Thanksgiving and holiday dinners with our loved ones.
Yeah, totally different. And I mean, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things that some of the things that changed throughout the course of our careers. And Step, the first one I want to start with is year one versus year 10. Let's talk about year one when we're so optimistic. We're going to change the world with superheroes. We're going to do it all.
Vinegar.
We're piss and vinegar. We're doing it all. To year 10 when we're salty, we're cynical. We don't believe anybody. Nothing's ever what it seemed. So talk about it, Step. Talk about year one and talk about how you were the very first time you put on that uniform and you went on a call versus year 10 when you went on that call.
So I was telling my son, I was talking to him earlier yesterday. I'm trying to find a picture of me when I was a rookie. And I was like, dude, I graduated police academy at 20. And
airdrop it to me. When you find a photo, airdrop it to me and I'll put it on the screen.
So I graduated police academy at 20. I was working for the sheriff's department in McDowell County. Exactly where's that is. No policies, no procedures. I mean, it was like 100 years ago, like Mecklenburg County would have been. They're probably there. So anyway, I was proud. I would have done the job for free, which I basically was. It's like $10 an hour, about literally. But I didn't care about the pay. I never even asked. I don't know, but I just wanted to be a cop so bad, man. I just wanted to get out there and catch bad guys from watching Cops and what was that show, America's Dangerous Police Chases or whatever in the 90s. And I was just pumped up, ready to go, dude. And I thought I could make a difference and save the world, man. And you have a misconception of what policing actually is. I think too, especially I was naive. I was young, sheltered for the most part, moved around, didn't have a lot of wisdom at 21. And I remember my first arrest. I remember my first dead body. It didn't take long to get. Within a day or two, you got your first arrest. You got your first dead body within a couple of days. And then I really can't tell you much between that and year 22. But it really, I could, the fact that seeing a dead body for the first time, I remember the guy, it was a sysmetic call, and the guy was in his front yard, and
Investigated?
Asphyxiated.
Asphyxiated?
No,
Asphyxiation.
He had
choked.
something.
He choked.
Yeah, choked, but he was choked. He had it was chunks of blood coming out of his nose and his mouth. And he pretty much choked on, I don't know if it was a tumor. It was like a tumor that exploded. I don't really remember what it was, but it was something like a tumor exploded or something. And he was dead in his yard, and his son was like 12, and just here it is. I'm sending it to you.
Okay.
Dude, it's bad. It's it's don't make fun of me. So and I remember the first, really, I mean, I had my great grandmother who died when I was probably in 8th grade, 7th grade. She ran a funeral home, so I saw dead bodies growing up because we would go and visit her at the funeral home, and it was kind of creepy, but she would show us dead bodies, like in the coffin. And but that was the first dead body at 21 that I saw in real life, like freshly dead. And it had a huge impact on me, thinking that it was very sad. The son was just hysterical. It wasn't like some old dude. I mean, he was old to me, but he was probably like 35 or something, in his 30s. And I just remember looking, he had his shoes tied, and it really sunk in. And I was like, this guy put on his shoes today and didn't know that he was going to die. And I felt really bad for the son, who was crying and seeing his father pass away. And then you kind of have that switch for your own personal safety or personal sanity. You kind of switch off, and because you have to teach yourself not to let it bother you. And so you have that switch you have to mentally go in and cut off, that, hey, this is bad. It had an effect on me. But then, God, you don't blow it up. Holy shit. That was my dude. Look at that. That was my grandmother's house. That shows you in the mountains, man.
Look at the baby fat, yo.
That's some white privilege, man. That was my grandmother's house. We had the tin roof.
Did y'all grow up with no sun? Like, what the?
Dude, they called me Casper. Who that movie came out, man.
Well, shit.
I'm glad. I feel like literally like I was like fine wine, man. I got better with age, man. But,
hey, Steppe, you look more racist then than you do now.
That's saying a lot. Look at that hair, man. It's like strawberry blonde. The uniform started like I was probably that age. I was like probably like 180 pounds.
It's not tailored, like baggy sleeves, like you.
Dude, they took me into like it looked like a bathroom stall, and was like, hey, find a uniform that fits. And the uniforms, they start up here and it goes long, like it's not tailored in, it goes out. So it's probably like a 2X shirt, and the pant. Look out, the pants are probably like I'm like a 32 inseam is probably like a 36. Dude, I didn't know. Like
they just gave you anything, man.
There were like 3 options, and that's the only one that didn't have stains on it. Yeah, but that's depressing, man. Then I had my mom's leather gloves, like her driving gloves.
You couldn't get your own gloves?
Oh, dude, you had to buy all your own shit. I had to buy my own gun. My parents bought me a used Gen 1 Glock 40 caliber. I even had to buy like a ham radio and have it spliced so I could call dispatch. Like it was fucking dunk, man. It was like the whole county is about the size of Mecklenburg County as far as square mileage.
That's crazy.
And they would have a lieutenant. They didn't have a sergeant. They had a lieutenant and two patrol deputies. So they'd have, and that's if everybody shows up for the whole county.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel bad, man. I worked with a guy too. Had an impact on my career. He was a couple years older than me when I graduated with my sister in high school, and I was working. I think I was working in Union County, so it's probably 07 because I came to Charlotte in 08. He got killed in the line of duty. He went to the Forest Service. His name was Jason Crisp, and he was a K-9 officer with the Forest Service, and he got shot and killed by a dude up in Burke County that killed his parents. And he was always nice to me because being the young guy that wanted to get in stuff, a lot of these guys didn't want to do anything. They didn't want me to ride with them. There's no PTO program. It was basically like, just ride with somebody a couple times. Yeah, but damn, that's right. So that's what it was. It was worse than Mayberry, man. He was like, just ride with me. And he would there was a lieutenant who I really liked. He was Japanese, and he would let me ride with him, and then Jason would let me ride with him. And it was sad when he got shot and killed.
Yeah.
But
that's how it be, Step. Look how the difference is from then and now. But you know what? You're not the only one, because hey, we all have a year one. We all have a year one.
Do you remember? Mine. Yeah, let's see. Do you remember? Look at you, man. I think you look better than that now.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely do. Like
what year was that?
This was 09.
What year did you get out of the military?
2007. So in 2007, when I went into the academy, I was 254 pounds. When I finished the academy, I was 223 pounds. And now I'm 200 pounds. So I'm less than when I was actually a damn police officer, which is another thing that happens. It's like when women lose weight, when their husband cheats on them or their man cheats on them. Like, I had to leave the police department to lose weight. That's crazy. And the reason why I gained so much weight is because I was always here. I was always there. I was always in the gas stations getting free drinks. Free hot dogs.
And we all did. I mean, because what's bad is people don't understand. Charlotte's even third shift in Charlotte, the districts that North Tron and Eastway that you worked, it was busy. You didn't have time to eat sometimes. So you would have MREs or something, and sometimes in your trunk so a lot of times your dinner was going in here and grabbing some of the the 3-day-old hot dogs they were about to throw out, and that was your meal, and you needed caffeine to survive. And if you're not a coffee drinker, you're throwing down. Yeah, I was
throwing down sodas,
trying to just get that caffeine, and
just trying to get everything that you can get. And then next thing you know, man, this belt tight. Man, these pants tight.
I might need to go
this shirt tight.
Yeah, and for the most part, you're in your car, you're driving around, you're getting out, taking a report. Then you go from that to 110 sprinting or something. But for the most part, everything's just
sitting down,
sedentary,
nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have sprints or your adrenaline go and you have to run around a little bit, but for the most part, man, you're just in that car and you just put on calories with especially the sodas, and you damn extra large, big gut. What did you use to walk around with that?
And they're free. People don't understand. Yeah. Like, as a police officer, you rarely pay for anything when you're in the gas stations because, number one, they consider it free security. They safe.
Want you there.
They want you there.
Yeah.
So they don't want you going in your wallet. They don't want you doing anything. So to me, who has a gluttonous spirit, who's a sinner, I'm grabbing cakes, I'm grabbing hot dogs, I'm grabbing the big gulps and drinking that. Like, you know how much sugar is in a large soda? A lot.
Yeah, 150 grams or something, probably.
Sometimes even more. And then, we don't even talk about, like, in the neighborhoods, when we would come to roll call, what you would see? Cakes, cupcakes, pies, pizza. because people in the community, I don't care what they say on the outside, there are some people that really do appreciate law enforcement, and they just drop stuff off. You know, remember Prime? Not Prime. What was the other one? There was another drink. Remember when they first started? And they literally dropped the cases off at the police, at the divisions, remember, because they wanted to get our input on how they tasted. I'm trying to remember. It was Armor. Armor? Yeah. Remember, they first started out, and they would just drop off caseloads at the department. They was like, hey, we want y'all feedback, and because we really think, yeah.
They were sugar-free. They were.
No, they were not. That was crazy. But, I think we got let's see. I think I got one more from you, a more recent one. Let's see the more recent one. When you stop being Mayberry and more, motherfucker, get your head, motherfucker, get on the ground.
This was 2008, so this is like 9 years later. See, got a haircut, went bald, got that police look pretty squared away.
That's when you became racist.
Yeah, that's when. Well, you kind of have to when you get a real short haircut. That's just
that was fresh. I think that was fresh off American History X. And like I don't know why.
I'm still a pale motherfucker though. In that one, like,
yes,
it took a while, man. So I started keeping that 10 year round.
But that's
I think a lot of this is blood pressure, where my face gets red now. But I get tan in the summertime.
But that's one of the things that, like, you know, I think, like I said, I don't know your heaviest, but my heaviest as a police officer was like 300 pounds at 5'9".
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot, man. But the funny thing is, I could pass the PT test. Like I just never, I was out of shape, but it was never enough for me to lose my job, because I
can still run. You can still do it.
Yeah, I can still run. I can still do it all.
Yeah, man, but it wasn't healthy.
No, it was not healthy. Not healthy at all. And that's the funny thing about it. So so we broke that first semi down, year 1 to year 10. Yeah, that was rough. So now, Step, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we always like to do. We like to break it up by taking a video. Well, first of all, let's go to a commercial. Then we're going to come back, and then we're going to break down the video that we got, that somebody submitted to us.
I know. You're probably wondering what's going on. Well, I'm here to tell you. It's me, Inked, and I need you guys to head on over to ajsrantroom.com and pick up your Trifecta merch. Yes, that's right. Trifecta merch is here. It is here for our Trifecta family to show their love and support and advertise for free. Well, not technically for free. You did pay for it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Head on over to ajsrantroom.com and pick up your Trifecta merch. We're all inclusive. If Prince can wear it, so can you. Have a good one.
All right, so somebody sent this into us, and I think this is a good one, and I just don't know what has happened to, number one, people in the world, and number two, what happened to policing?
Two shots fired! Get out! Roll over!
I want y'all to know that when he rolled over, he was shot.
Shot.
He was
Atlanta.
Yep.
I can tell by the patch. Yeah.
That was in Atlanta, where they were doing crowd control at a festival, and that jackass tried to run over a police officer. And people, and despite what the idiots in the comment sections may think, that is a deadly force situation. You have a police officer on the top of a car, you actively trying to run them over. That is a deadly force situation. That's why you saw him unload 3 into the window, got him to stop. He got out, adrenaline gone, then they put on the rest. Unfortunately, the jackass survived, and that police officer had minor injuries, but he made it out okay. But Step, when you see something like that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
People are crazy, man, and a lot of people say, he should have been standing in front of that car. Well, the problem is he's directing traffic, so he's in the road already, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he put himself in front of the car. But sometimes there's incidents, like if you're directing traffic, you're telling a guy to stop, and if he doesn't stop, you're going to end up on the hood of the car, right? So it's a dangerous situation to be in because all the guys got to do is speed up and you're stuck. You can't wait. Definitely a deadly force situation. And I think I remember, like, I think his sister was in the car or something, and he didn't want to wait or some bullshit. But the problem is too, especially with the event downtown, this officer telling the dude to stop. Of course, you're standing for the car, and if he doesn't stop for you, it makes you think, well, is he going to go run over people? So if you look at it another way,
which has happened.
No, and what happens if he would have just rolled off and jumped off the car, and the guy would have been like an ISIS guy and just started running over people? Like, well, why didn't the cop do anything? So I knew he got a lot of heat for that, because I remember it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe a little longer. But I mean, if I'm in the road and it sounded like the guy was kind of inching in, he's like, "Yo, stop!" Like, you get in the front of the car, like, "Yo, stop, man, stop!" And the guy just gunned it a little bit, and he kind of hit him, and he jumped. At that point, it's a lot better to be on top of the car than under the car. So, and you're an idiot if you do that to begin with, but then you have a cop on your hood with his gun out, and you don't stop and you keep going. Bad things happen to stupid people, man.
Yeah, that like I said, unfortunately that jackass survived. And what I need people to understand is you are dealing with police officers now that they're on edge, and they're sick and they're tired of being punching bags verbally, physically, mentally. So you're gonna get officers that, you know what, they don't give a damn about the job. They're like, hey, if I can articulate myself well, and I gotta go work at UPS or FedEx, oh well. And they're blowing people away. And you gotta realize that it is you not paying attention to a police officer at a festival. Is it worth it? Is it worth it that you have to take a different route? You have to stop at a red light. You have to stop when a whistle is blown. Like, is it really? Think about it. Think about when you go in front of a judge and they ask you, why were you shot by a police officer? You say, because I tried to run him over because he told me I couldn't turn on 3rd and lane. What do you think is going to happen?
That it really went downhill since 2020 about people just don't think the laws apply to they can do whatever they want because there are no consequences.
And you know why there's no consequences? Because you have weak leadership, you have weak politicians, and then you have weak subject matter experts like that Yahoo from South Carolina that is always siding with the scumbags and giving police officers a bad name and teaching people that our tactics are bad when in fact they are not bad. They are state certified and they're taught for a reason.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just crazy. So with that being said, Step, let's go into our next segment, and that is the moment you knew that, hey, you know what, it's time to hang it up. Was it a call? Was it an interaction? Was it a supervisor pissed you off? Was it something that you just didn't think was right? What was the call where you was like, yeah, this ain't for me no more?
So I remember after my shooting in 16, my shooting happened on a Saturday night. I didn't sleep. It was Saturday night at 10 a.m. I didn't get home till like 5 in the morning. I got like no sleep. I was still adrenaline up. My partner got shot. We shot the bad guy. I mean, it's like being on 20 pre-workout drinks, right? You're just your level. And so by that Friday, I was back at work because I was a sergeant and I didn't want to leave my people hanging because they had a lieutenant or no sergeant would have to cover me if I wasn't there. And I'd already been out for 4 or 5 days. So I went back and I was tired. And I remember the first I just got to get back out there. I was still like I was still amped up. I was still at that. I think from that point on in my career, I was always like hyper vigilant, but from that point on, I was just like stuck and like it's about to go down. It's about to go like just
Mm-hmm.
just
You was
just,
on go. You was always ready to go.
that. And then the first contact I had with anybody, I'm like, all right, I'm rolling down Airwood, by I think I told the story before, by 77 in Airwood or Nation Ford Airwood. I'm sorry, Nation Ford and 77. There's a hotel back there where an officer got shot. It's a high crime area. The officer got killed a while back. But I'm coming out and it's March 26th, so it's like beginning of April. And I got my windows down because people don't realize it's kind of cold, but when you're slow rolling through the hood, you got your seatbelt off. People would always call like, "Oh, the officer didn't have a seatbelt on." Well, if I'm driving in the neighborhood on these secondary roads, I'm gonna have my seatbelt on because you never know when they have to jump.
You got to jump out and you got to handle business, and
Yeah.
you'll forget that you're locked in.
It's happened. You try to jump out and shit, I'm buckled up. So, of course, in a pursuit or in the highway, you put it on. But this guy, I had the windows down so I could hear if anybody yells or shots fired and stuff. So I'm rolling through. I had this guy like, "Hey," and I turn around and this guy starts walking towards me. And he reaches his hand back like this. I'm like, well, shit. I'm thinking that didn't take long. Like, here we go. Like, game on. So I'm sitting. I didn't have time to get out of the car. So I draw down and I punch out the window. I'm getting ready to shoot this motherfucker. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Something. He's like, I was reaching for my wallet. He wanted to get his ID out and see if he had a warrant. But I'm like, but he's like, like, hey, aggressively. And I look and he's like this. So my first thought is gun. He's going for a gun. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I almost went to prison. Right. I mean, in good faith, like I'm thinking this guy's going for a gun, but if I would have shot him, all the shit that would have turned, there'd have been riots and I'm like, holy shit. So that kind of scared me. And that should have been a check. Like, dude, I need to fucking get some help. Like, and I did reach out for help. A while later, I'm like, is this normal to be like this?
No.
And no, it's not. And it was just a disaster. I mean, so anyway, so that was a turning point. But I remember, fast forward like 2020, there's how many PI wrecks in 22 years did I go to? Hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there's a PI wreck on Nation Ford, and it was non-life-threatening, but this little black girl who was probably like 9 or 10, had a broken arm. And for whatever reason, it broke my heart to see her. She was crying in pain. And I went back to my car and I wept. I just broke down, man. And I just think the accumulation, and my shooting was in 16. So this is 4.5 years later.
It's been building.
And I tell people all the time, it's like apps on your cell phone. You don't know how much storage you have, right? So you might have a 256, you might have a 512, you don't know. And all these traumatic injuries or traumatic events are like apps you download or games or whatever. So you're taking up space, but you're like, shit, man, I've got a 512, I'm good to go. And all of a sudden, it's like, damn, I need to free up space. I don't have any room left. And that's what what it's like psychologically is like, I just build all this stuff up, put it aside, and for whatever reason, that was the tipping. That was like, damn, man, and that's right before I reached out for help. But I knew, I was like, man, something's wrong with me. Like, it was just wasn't. I mean, that's not normal. I mean, I dealt with trauma for my entire career, and I remember at one point, things started bothering me that this guy got hit by a transfer truck in his car and it pushed him off the road, and I was trying to get him out and he burned to death. And I was like, well, damn, that's kind of intense, but I'm like, I would kind of think about it a little bit, but I was the only one there. So it was just me and him, and I'm trying to get him out. It's too hot. The flames get it. He had to let him die,
It's wild, the decisions you got to make.
And I'm like, shit, that was intense. Like, damn. But like, all right, well, let me go to the next call. And you just take it and throw it back. And it's not, and it's almost, you have to do that for career survival, because there's no way you could dwell on every freaking traumatic event. I mean, it was
You
yelling.
you would be no good.
No.
You would literally worry yourself to death. There's a reason why we'll get an email that so and so retired, and then 5 months later we'll get an email that so and so dropped dead. Like literally checking the mailbox, they drop dead.
And when that happened, I remember I was like, "Shit, man, that's kind of intense." But I'm made for this. Like,
because you believe you're invincible.
I think I'm invincible.
People don't understand. Like, and I'm gonna be honest. Where else can you have the amount of power? What other job can you have the amount of power you have as a police officer? Name one. Name one where I can literally stop your freedom. I can stop your freedom. I can stop your life. I have your life in the palm of my hands. That is a lot. And if you are the wrong person, or you're not wired correctly, or you're dealing with a lot of shit, that can be dangerous. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was always thinking about the job. Guess what went to the wayside? My health, my physical fitness. Like, all I was concerned with was getting enough sleep, or not, and coming to work and being there for my people. And then my call was, I get a call on Eastway. It was Eastway, where Eastway and the Plaza meets. And I got out with this suspicious person. Checked her for. I asked her, like, what are you doing here? Blah blah blah. I asked her to give me her name and stuff. I went to the car to check her for warrants. Next thing I know, I'm waking up with fire. I'm waking up with fire and other officers around me trying to give me orange juice. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like delirious. I'm like, what's happening? And my homie today, I call him Superman. God rest him. Superman, Clark Kent. He was like, Blue, I came to your car and you were fucking passed out. And I was like, what do you mean I was passed out? He was like, you were passed out. Like, you were not, like, you were passed out. Like, I had to call medic, had to call fire, they had to come and get you. Steppe, you know it's nothing more dangerous than getting back in your car and running a warrant on somebody, and you don't know what they got going on. If they got somebody coming to the scene, I'm asleep in a patrol car, knocked out in a diabetic coma. My weapon, everything is available. My patrol car, my rifle, everything is available to this person. That's when I knew. I was like, I got to get my shit together. But it seemed like every time I would try to get myself together, I would take 2 steps back. That was not my only diabetic coma that I had on duty. Then finally, I remember one of the officers at the division, I was typing reports. I was on desk duty or whatever. And I was, and in the meantime, I was going to different doctors trying to, get myself cleared to go back to work. And no doctor would clear me. And then finally, one of the officers walked up to me and they was like, Blue, they was like, hey man, like, me and the boys was talking, like, we love you, like, but you scared us that night. Like, we thought we lost you. And it wasn't from a gunshot. It wasn't from one of these jackasses out here. It was because, like, you're unhealthy. It was like, we almost lost you. And I was like, but I'm still lying to myself. I'm trying to get myself right. I'm working out. I'm eating better, stuff like that. And then I went to a doctor's appointment, and then that's when they was like, hey, we want to check something out. We want to see what's going on. We got some weird, like, nerve issues through your MRI. So I go get the MRI, and then they run this test where they like stick a needle in your feet and in your hands. And that's when they told me, they was like, do you know what diabetic neuropathy is? I was like, no. They was like, do your fingers and your feet tingle all the time? I was like, yeah, but it's like a sleepy feeling. They was like, no, that's nerve damage in your hand. So I was like, all right, so give me a pill for it and let's go. They was like, no, I don't think you understand. They was like, there is no pill for nerve damage. The nerves are gone. They're leaving you. The only thing you could do is get your diabetes in order, but you're always going to have diabetic neuropathy. And I was like, okay, so I was like, what does that mean? Again, I'm thinking about the job. What does that mean for my job? And they're like, you have to hold a gun, correct? I was like, yeah, that's over. Like, I was like, and I was just sitting there like, so you telling me I can't go back to work? And he was like, nope. He was like, I'm not going to sign off on it. You could keep finding a doctor. You keep searching for a doctor. And then that's when that was it.
Could you imagine though if like you have it and you're trying to pull the trigger? Like we have nightmares
And you
about
can't
your
feel it,
fingers not working.
or my fingers on the trigger and I won't let off of it.
Yeah.
So and that's dangerous to me. That's dangerous to the city. That's dangerous to citizens. So I had to call it a career. Why? Because I had to finally come to quits and take accountability. I did not take accountability for my own health. I put the job before my own health. I got lazy and I thought that I didn't need to do the things that I need to do. I thought I didn't need to work out. I thought I didn't need to eat better. And I let all that consume me, and then I had to retire. Now, granted, I had other things that happened through the job. Remember, I had my accident in 2012 where I almost lost my life getting hit by a drunk driver on duty. I could have retired then, but I fought back and I came back because the job is the job, man. I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say. There's nothing like being a police officer. There's nothing like being able to help people and being able to protect people who can't protect themselves. It's nothing like it. And believe it or not, there are officers out here that is willing, me included, you included, was willing to die for this. And we have family and we was willing to leave them for the job.
Yeah. And you know, Collins, just remember John Collins was on the show a couple of 3 years ago. He
The
had
legend.
Yeah. So he had 29 and like a half years on when he had to medically retire. And you don't want to accept that it's your time's done because
That is
in your
time.
mind, and it's what I want to ask, did that guy that when you went to diabetic coma around 29 years old, did he stick around? Was he gone? Was the guy still there? You were checking warrants on before you passed out?
Yes, no, it was a female. She was still there because, and then when I looked back at the videotape, he was like, "What did you do?" He was like, "I didn't do nothing." He was in the car. He was checking me for warrants, and then he never came back out. I didn't do anything. And the funniest part about it, I remember she's like, "Am I okay? Can I go now?" And it was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And she like disappeared within 2 points. Like she could have had a bazooka on her. She could have been wanted for triple homicide, but everybody was focused on me, and they was like, "Get out of here!" And she booked it.
Yeah, and you put, and what's sad is really, and I'm sure Collins, these other people could attest, to be a good cop, you kind of put everybody, your family, as bad as it is, secondary, because you have it's almost like you have a sense to duty, you know, and also you want to be there, like, oh shit, I'm sick, but my people are depending on me. I don't want to leave them short, and you have the sense of duty, and you do it for your family too, because you want to provide, make good money and have a good reputation, get promoted or have opportunities. But what's sad is after the career's over, if you get hit by a drunk driver that night, that's when Ranky and what's her name got hit. They almost got killed. They were in really bad shape.
That was Ranky, and wasn't it our girl? Female. Wasn't it Jean?
Yeah, Jean Wassner. Whatnot? It was Wassner.
That was the night of my accident. I got hit being on perimeter with them.
You were there because a drunk hit them. They were in a traffic stop doing fills their brain. They got hit and they were in really bad shape. And then you were there with them, and then you got hit by another. So the third drunk driver.
Yes.
And that could have ended your career. And so you're there. And then your career could be over like that. It could be a gunshot. It could be a wreck. It could be
it could be anything. It could be a crackhead that don't want to go back. It could be a mentally ill person that wouldn't want to be. It could be a child that gets a hold of their parents' weapons.
Because
it could be anything.
Quitting, not being a police officer was not. It was scary for me. It was not an option because people were like, hey, what do you do? What would you do? I'm like, I don't know. This is me. This is who I am.
This is what you have.
And it was scary to think that at any minute, not only you get in trouble with IA, or political reasons, they could throw you on the bus, but that you could get injured, you could have all the stuff happen to you, and they don't back you up like they should. And then, like with me and a lot of these other people will say, "Hey, I need help," and then they're like, "Oh, all right, well, your liability, we don't, you have to medical retire."
Yeah, we can't trust you.
And then he's like, "Holy shit! I've given my entire life to this organization, and
in the moment they feel like you're the slightest hint of a quote unquote liability, they get rid of you. They don't want to protect you. They don't want to get you better. They don't even care about how you are off the clock. They just want to know that you could do the job on the clock."
Yeah. And then, like John Collins just said, like it's bad because a lot of the people they're hiring, and I've saw it since 2016, 17, it got really bad. It's just a job for these people, man.
It's just a paycheck. If you think about it, look at the cars that are now in the at the divisions. Look at the cars, Teslas, souped up trucks. Now, it's not about a financial thing, but think about it. Remember when we came on? Well, I know when I came on, they told me there's 3 things you could get in trouble with for a police officer: off duty, women, and perjury. And they said the biggest ones was off duty and women. That was the thing that was getting officers fired, getting officers in trouble the most. And you can see it now with all the off duty officers double dipping, officers doing so much work at off duty, they have no time or no energy for when they're on duty. Officers getting caught sleeping on a clock. It's crazy what is going on now. And kind of the old school cop has gone by the wayside because you got these younger people that's coming in here and they thinking, oh, it's gonna be like TV, it's gonna be like Bad Boys, and no, this is real life shit. This is real mentally draining stuff. And I don't care how much you think you're prepared outside the academy. Nothing can prepare you for seeing a woman purple because she's been in her living room dead for 3 days. Nothing can prepare you for seeing a kid with their brains blown out. Nothing can prepare you for having blood on your uniform because you have to help a domestic violence victim that's just been beat to hell. Nothing can prepare you for that.
No, you're right.
Nothing.
And the thing is, you have to have the mentality and calling. So for me, it was like, this is what I felt like I was supposed to do. Was my calling. Like a lot of old school cops. And I looked at myself as I'm the person who's going to protect the person getting bullied from the bullier. It wasn't about writing speeding tickets and doing all this bullshit stuff. But now, they just don't have that. And if you don't have the integrity, and for me, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my job. But now it's you hire someone who's not dedicated and have that mindset that, oh, it's just a job. If I don't work here, I could go work somewhere. And they're not going to have that integrity and there'll be a high liability than someone that's
you know what, Step? It's not just the older people either, because I got a video right here. I mean, it's not just the younger people anymore. It's the older officers now that are lazy. They don't want to go hands on. They don't want to do anything. I got this one right here. I hope this is the right one. Let's see if it's this one. I think it's this one. Let's see. Let me get but I do want to get to that one. I want this one. Let's see if this is the one. No, it's not that one. Huh. Hold on, people. This is live. Let me see if it's... Here it is. It's this one.
Oh, shit. He broke the window.
That. Oh, my God.
He actually broke the window. Oh, yeah. Get him in the car seat.
Now, for those who don't know, his hand is stuck in the door. The officer opened and slammed his hand into the door.
Did you hear that scream?
Ah!
I would have sped up to like 60 miles per hour and hit the brakes and thrown him off the car.
In the car seat so I can get in the car. Get him in the car seat. Oh.
grab the ass, grab the motherfucker, yank his ass out of the car.
Get out the car! I'm gonna shoot you! Get out the car!
I'm gonna shoot you. Hit the gas.
Grab the motherfucker. Grab.
Step. When I saw that, I was so pissed off because I'm like, what is your fat ass doing? Why are you just sitting there allowing him to get control of your cruiser, which, by the way, has a rifle in it, has computer information in it, and oh yeah, the car itself is a deadly weapon.
Deadly weapon.
Why are you letting him get control of your car? You should have ran up to him, dragged him out. You should have fucked him up something royally inside that car.
Yeah, the problem is he gave him access to his vehicle, like you said, with a weapon. He could get into it and use it and start running over people or cause a wreck. People don't. Why are these officers? I see it time and time again. They tell people, "Hey, you're under arrest," and they're like, "I'm not going to jail." And like, well, will you put your like? If you ask, tell him, mate. You and that's just what you put. You don't need your gun. He's hands free. He's get out, grab him with your hands, fight him, pull him out, wrestle him.
Step. What the? What you witnessed right there? You witnessed somebody who, number one, doesn't know how to fight. Number two, is clearly out of shape. Number three, needs more training. Like that was like the moment he got on your car and started punching it, stop the car, whoop his ass.
That shit would have never happened. Like, poor John Collins is about to have an aneurysm over here watching that. Because I know, like, with 29 and a half years on, I can tell you, I worked with that man. He didn't slow down a bit. And what's scary is I was the same way. Is like, you know, with we're at 22 years on, is like I was out there doing just as much. And the only thing was to stop me was a health issue, a bad guy, or get fired. So I was a lifer. You know, I was going to do my 30 years. But the problem is now, so people see these officers not doing what they're supposed to do. And then if you have an officer like me or you or some of these older school guys, they got to do that. And I'm going to jump out or speed up and throw him off my car and jump, grab the motherfucker, wrestle him, punch him in the face or do whatever, make him do what you're telling him to do. And then they're like, oh, well, that's aggressive because the same thing this officer did in this video did the same thing. And you can't talk to, there's people that you can't just tell them to put their hands behind the back.
Get out of the car. I'm going to shoot you. What are you going to, why? What? At that point, just do what you said. Like, shoot him. Because you could have articulated, hey, my rifle's in there. He had access to my rifle. It was a deadly force situation. We have innocent bystanders around. He's already shown aggression. He's punched through the window. He's tried to assault me multiple times. He's not listening to my verbal commands. So I shot him.
Or hit the car in reverse and sling the dude off. Like,
he was so...
How did he end up getting in the car? Because his officer's he's in midbrain and he's like,
this is what we have. We have this because people are scared and people go ahead.
Do their job. No, my mom's watching. She just texted me and she watched it, so I better not. Hopefully, she can hear my cuss words.
But I don't know what it is, Step, and I don't know how we can fix it because you know what? I'm just going to say it. Because of the current administration we have, you should be emboldened more to do your job. You should be emboldened more to do your job. The previous administration, they had, you know, where crackheads and the scum of the earth was right no matter what. But with this current administration, you should be good to go. If you do your job and you do it well, you will be okay. I know it's hard but you know what? We were there. We've been there when our job is on the line or when we got to go to IS or like that. But you know what? When we have the law behind us and we have to have just as much faith in the law because that's the same law that you and I enforce and we sworn to uphold. We got to know that at the end of the day, it's going to come through for us. It's not. It may be long. It may not be easy. But it's going to come through for us. So do your fucking job, man.
And what's bad is so many departments that like this last chief we had, Putney wasn't like this. is if long as because it's always been my entire career that long as you do your job, you're within policy or state law. Usually, state law allows you to do this much, then policy is more restrictive than state law. It should be aligned with what state law says, but it's not. So long as you're within state law, it means you can't get prosecuted for violating policy. You used to not be able to, but so as long as you stay within state law and within policy, you're good to go. But now it became so much with this last chief about perception. Well, these officers did everything right, but it looked bad, so we have to do something. We have to defend the reputation of this hierarchy police department at whatever calls. If we have to throw some officers on the bus and ruin their career and charge them whatever, they're willing to do that. When it's like a church. The church is not the building; it's the people that work there. So the police department isn't the 601 East Straight Street. It's the police officers who put their lives and do good work every day. So, but then they were like, shit, and I saw it too. Wait, I'm doing my job. I'm within law and I'm within policy, and I'm still getting in trouble.
Now,
and then it's like, well, then at that point, it's just like, why do we even have policies
if you're just gonna ignore it because the perception is bad?
Perception is never
stand up in front of them and say this officer violated no policies. Use of force is never pretty, but my officer did nothing wrong, and he was justified in his actions. Point blank, period. But they're cowards.
They are. Perception is not ever a factor or element in was it right or wrong. It's not perception.
Now, speaking of do your fucking job, this one you and I are gonna love, Step, because this officer did his job in a similar situation.
One shot, man. After that first strike, he needed to unload the mag, not one shot, not two shots. Because the problem is, because people are to look at that video and be like, okay, that first set of shots were justified, but then he was pulled off and they weren't. And then they're going to be like, oh, he used excessive force. I think that was Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. But they'll be like, oh, now he's not a threat anymore, which he is. But the perception of it is a lot worse. That is, if the guy would have hit him the first time or even the second time,
he had every right to load the mag the first time.
Yeah, and then that would have looked. That's what he should have done. But that would have looked better too, because now what happens is when officers don't use appropriate level of force the first time, they have to use usually a greater level of force the second or third time when they're trying to take people in arrest. But because I could see them arguing about those last shots not being justified. Mm-hmm. I think they were, but I could just see. You create a
he gave a window for them to say, well, they were going away, like, why'd you keep firing? It's just, but yeah, you and I, when I got my shooting, I fired 3, and then I wasn't sure that the threat was eliminated, so it was a pause, and then I fired again, and that came up in the IA hearing. Hey, you fired 3 consecutive shots, and then you paused, and then you shot again. What was behind that? I said I was assessing if he was still a threat. I still saw the gun in his hand, so I shot a different time, and that's when the gun fell from his hand, and I didn't shoot anymore. And they looked around, they said, "I'm good with that. Y'all good with that?" Yeah. All right, go ahead and step on out, and then we'll let you know of our decision. I came back in, and the decision was good to go.
Yep. Did Skipper ever get his gun back?
I've had 3 guns in my career. That one, I think I got back. The gun when I lived on shitty ass Albemarle Road and my apartment was broken into and my service weapon was stolen. They found it used in an armed robbery in Steel Creek, and they tried to scratch off the serial number. So of course I couldn't get that one back. And the gun I took to retirement, they didn't give me that one back. So I had 3 guns in my career, 3 firearms. All gone.
And what's bad is what a lot of people don't realize is that gun is your like protection, and when you medically retire, you don't get that weapon. It's up to the discretion of the chief, but of course,
I got my badge.
Yeah,
but
they'll
I
give you
didn't
the,
get my
they'll give you the
firearm.
badge and the stuff, but they sold my weapon. They wouldn't give it to me. I offered to buy, and they wouldn't give it to me. They sold it to, because when they changed the Glock 19 to whoever they sell the guns to at like $250 or whatever.
You know, that's something I've never fired yet.
What's
I never
that?
fired a Glock.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they went so instead of issuing my gun, they sold it at wholesale. No, and they're like, you could figure out what your serial number is and try to buy it back from.
It's gone now.
And I'm like, you know, I give all these years to this department, and then they're like, well, we can't issue. Then the deputy chief at the time, the chief's assistant or whoever, was like, well, we can't issue you a gun because it with PTSD, it's just a liability. I'm like, what? Like we have officers working that are 110% PTSD disabled for the military, but yet I'm not a threat to anybody. But you won't give me my gun because
the only thing you're a threat with is your TikTok account.
and then they said the words they used was really pissed me off. They said that basically that honor is reserved for people who complete their full like tenure with the department, like their full. I'm like, wait. I had 22 years as a fucking police officer, but you're telling me someone with 5 years on, because you only have to do 5 years to be able to retire, right? So if you retire at 55. So if you're 50 and retire at 55, you work South Division, you don't do anything your entire career. You have 5 years on, you get your gun because you could retire after 5 years. Your pension would be this big, but people do that. People, come out of the military, do 5 years to be able to get a little pension. But yet I did 22 years, and you're saying since I didn't do the full 30, and yet I'm retiring because this job had a toll on me, and I have to medically retire because I have PTSD. You're not going to say, hey, here's your gun, and then they send me my badge, and I could finally get a year later my shadow box that everyone else gets like in 2 or 3 weeks. It took them a year to send me mine.
Yeah, I got mine.
And it was everything was, I think they took it and shook it and knocked everything out of it. But it's just a slap in the face, man.
Didn't you redo yours?
Yeah, I had to redo it. Yeah.
Yeah, you added some stuff to yours?
Yeah.
I didn't even touch mine.
I put the CRU from Steel Creek Challenge Coin and CE.
Yeah, yours
Challenge
looks
coin.
pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't deserve your gun. So it's the same thing with you. You had to make it retire. You had time on, and
they didn't give it to me. But you know what? You and I both have bought enough on our own. It's sentimental.
I got this one today.
Sentimental. Got it. I can't even get my wife to give me another one. I can't even convince her to let me get another one. I can't. But I'm gonna try because, like
You're
I told
the doctor
you,
of the house. You're the doctor.
That shit don't work with her, man. But thank you everybody. I appreciate everybody for listening. Hey, if you want more of this and you enjoy what we talked about, we do this all the time. Every episode, we just give you real storytelling, roll call, real life breakdown videos. We give you the human element of the shield. We give it to you all. And if you want to reach me, I'm at Real Prince Blue on all social media platforms. He is Step 2223 on Insta. He's TikTok TOG4280. Hey man, like we appreciate y'all. Keep sending us the videos. We appreciate our viewers are ticking up. We appreciate that. Our with our analytics are going up, our insights are going up. We appreciate you all. And please, like we said, if you want more of this, if you got a video that you want us to break down or anything, please just send it to our social medias and we'll break it down. We appreciate it. Thank you to Pat. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, everybody that's been up in here. It's been supporting us for day one. You know, I always end it in the words of the immortal poet. Marshawn Lynch, please make sure you take care of your chickens and your mentals. And we will see y'all next week. Step, you got anything for the people?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah. Look, black and blue lives. Yeah. Hey, that's a new vibe. Yeah. Hey, black and blue lives. Hey, that's a new vibe. Hey, podcast lit. I think we got a hit. Hey, black and blue lives. Look, we got Prince, Blue and Steppe talking black and blue lives. Hey, black and blue